it continues on because it's not just Star Wars with Disney. We also have this article from Ironheart star Zoe Tarakis is deeply grateful. Upcoming Marvel series will give little trans kids and trans teens something to look at and know they exist. That's a thing.
Just gross. Can we play the clip?
I think we can play the clip
from this interview.
Yes.
We don't even know what character Zoe Tarakis is going to play in Ironheart, but they're calling it the highly anticipated Marvel series that is anticipated by absolutely no one.
Nobody is anticipating Ironheart.
No, I'm sorry. Anticipated by the army of Gen Z teenage girls that absolutely love Marvel properties, right? They love comics.
All right.
Soon. I did want to end on one unrelated question because Zoe, I'm very excited for what's around the corner for you right now. It is a big deal. You should be very proud. And I know there's a lot of people who can't wait to see you in the MCU. What does joining the MCU mean to you personally, but also what kind of influence do you want to have on that franchise?
That's a great question. I think I was talking about this yesterday, actually. I think as trans people, you're kind of, growing up, I didn't get to see myself anywhere, so I didn't really know that I existed.
What the hell does that mean? What the hell does that mean? I'm actually asking that question. What the hell does that mean?
And especially not in a superhero show or movie, I think. And so I think
the most
I
legitimate.
just feel deeply grateful and moved that little trans kids and trans teens have something to look at and to know they exist and to know that, they can have superpowers and that,
No, you can't! Sorry.
That's where we belong. We don't just belong in trauma stories on the fringes, dying in things, we belong there with the big guys. So
what about the big girls?
Sexist. What is a guy?
It's funny because trans filmmakers, I'm sure, are the ones making the trauma stories that she's complaining about. So you're literally pigeonholing yourself.
What does it mean to say that you need a multi-billion-dollar company with a multi-billion-dollar property to make stories to prove that you yourself are a human being?
Because
is that because we are so consumerized and we are so self-centered and so vain that we have to constantly see ourselves reflected back at us to even know that we ourselves exist? What the hell does that even say about society?
This is just mindless parroting of things that this actress has likely seen on Tumblr and Twitter.
Yeah.
There's no thought behind it. There is no logic. If you pressed someone like this for their reasoning behind saying, I didn't know I existed, trust me, they would have no explanation beyond you're a bigot for pushing back on what I'm saying right now. And ultimately, the reasoning behind it is that mega corporations are mommy and daddy, and mommy and daddy never validated me at home. So now I look to Disney to validate me. That's it. And I don't think it's wrong that people want to feel special. Every person wants to feel special and noticed. But it becomes pathological when you are literally forcing yourself on the rest of society and on what they literally call little trans kids and trans teens. You're not hiding your agenda anymore. But we're also conspiracy theorists for pointing out what you're saying explicitly.
The comment earlier from the lady on the Star Wars panel proves to you that it's not a conspiracy theory, that she literally used the phrase queering everything in sight.
And no one is going to stop me.
No one's going to stop me.
They power trip when the moment feels right, and then the second they get pushback, it's like, oh my goodness, we're so marginalized and silenced and suppressed.
Nobody cares about
They'll never get enough exposure or money. Grifters gonna grift. Yeah. That's as simple as it is.
It's funny too because they'll always dump this stuff on the shows. They'll never put this this will never matter as much in the movies. This is also not the first.
Maybe this is just planting the seeds for them to move it to the box office.
I believe there was a trans actor in Jessica Jones. I don't remember the name, but so it's not even the first that. Also, it'll be another 10 years of this is the first of this person, even though it's been not the first person.
Also, Arrow.
They're saying this isn't the first transgender actor in the MCU. It's the first transgender non-binary actor in the MCU.
Well, then I mean,
But
I
DC
immediately
beat them
apologize.
to it, right?
Is this the trans-masculine one that I was reading about the other day?
No,
Maybe
it's
I'm
not the
not-
same
It's not
person.
the same one as the trans-masculine one?
So that's why
What
they're
is the
saying the
difference?
first non-binary.
I don't even. As you said, like your entire opening on this was really well said, in that it is more. I am more offended by the obsession with the validation from corporate entities that this person is subjected to than what this person feels about their own identity. Their own identity is their own issue, like, or their own. That's their life, and I, as a libertarian person, like, you do you.
Well, that's the thing. They just can't bear that you don't care about them.
Right,
me and
right,
you say
right, but
you
the-
do you to her, but then they come up and say, allow me to do me right in front of everyone else
Right.
as a multi-billion-dollar corporation backs me and calls
Right.
you names
Right.
for just trying to stay
Right.
out of it.
Right, but that, yes, you're absolutely right. But even just the, like, I remember when liberals were the people who were like, I don't care about corporations. And it's like, now that they have an iota of their support in PR only, it is an obsession that blows my mind. It has turned me from what I used to be, where it's like, let them do what they want,
Yep.
to like, and I'm talking about corporations, to this like anarchist libertarian that I've become, where I'm like, I hate everything about them. I hate everything about Disney. I hate everything about CNN. I hate everything about Warner. I hate it all. Like, every time they put something out, it is so cardboard, so hollow. Nothing about it rings true. Like, it's like Will Smith knocking on the door, talking to Martin Lawrence, where it's like, there's nothing genuine about this at all.
That's at least a failure of like trying to incorporate regular celebrity into digital culture, which is that's just a failure of the actor to be somewhat like understandable to the average person. That's not the same thing as like pushing ideological beliefs on the entire world and then claiming that everyone else is holding you back while every corporation in the world backs you.
Going back to the Star Wars drag panel thing, a lot of them feel like they're getting a rare W by pointing out that this isn't a drag show, that it's just a panel talking about drag. I can almost guarantee that the panelists will be cosplaying in drag as Star Wars characters, because how could you not if your panel is about that
And it's a
you're
con.
so accomplished about it, right? And it's a con. So yeah, like, it's essentially going to be a drag show where they're in character. So that aside, anything related to drag, just don't put it around children. It's a very small ask. Like, it really is not asking for much. It's such a low bar, but they won't accommodate that even, because this isn't the family friendly event that it's advertising itself to be. They will lie to the attendees for profit.
It's more insidious that it comes from Disney, which is marketed as a family-friendly company. Like, if Warner Brothers wants to do it, I guess, like, it's Warner Brothers. They're just a media company. But Disney's I go back to the same complaint that I have, that this, as much as I do hate the corporations for doing this stuff, I put this on a lot of us and our inability to raise our kids these days. It seems like I'm saying us as a society, that we use our tablets and our computers as parenting devices rather than as ways to actually help educate our children, and that we're constantly putting the responsibility on Disney, who is half ideologically inclined and half profit driven, right? Like, they fall on both sides of the spectrum there.
I don't even know if it's half and half anymore.
But the point is that we're expecting them to parent our children when it has to be us as a society. You know, I guess what you'd say, what the libertarian idea behind this is that you have to change the culture because the government isn't going to do it for you. I don't want to get the government
should they,
involved.
yeah.
I don't want to get the government involved in stuff like this. I want the parents and the kids and the parents and the people buying Disney products to pay close enough attention, and this is why this show exists. People underestimate, and we talk about this, that everyone's in an echo chamber, and I've got friends who have no clue that any of this stuff is going on in entertainment. So it's our fault. It's our fault as a society that this takes place and is slipped in right under our noses. And have you ever heard the Bill Burr skit where he talks about being a mom isn't the hardest job?
Yeah.
The idea here behind that argument is like, maybe it's not the hardest job, but it is the most important job in the world. It is your job as a parent with the most important job in society of raising the next generation to, at the very least, know the things that your kid is consuming on a daily basis. Would you, I guess in America, would you let them eat anything they want? No, you would not. Why would you let them consume any entertainment they want without at least vetting it first? Or at the very least, doing a cursory look into what these corporations are doing in current year. And that's why, outside of the laughing at Atrioc yesterday and the stupid stuff, it's why this show is important, is that there has to be people that point out that it's not just the companies that suck. We kind of suck too as a society.
I think in this specific example, it's also a massive cope for the fact that today's generation of children and adolescents, and even a lot of young adults, they just don't care about these properties anymore, not only because they've been bastardized by corporations like Disney, but just the times are changing. And, promoting all of this LGBT representation BS at a convention like this, it's not attracting the young people. You're actually appealing to the older crowd that is using something they grew up with untainted as an instrument to influence younger people, and it's failing. It doesn't resonate with younger people. They don't care about, I'm sorry, I maybe I'm out of touch for thinking this. I don't think young people care about Star Wars anymore. I don't think young people care about comics anymore.
Comics, no. Comic movies,
comic movies maybe, but
movies,
certainly doesn't translate both ways.
I don't know where on demographic lines. I think a lot of this is it's become the perfect storm where we got a whole bunch of millennials who are so far, we've been so displaced by society where you can't save for a house reasonably anyways. You might as well waste all your money on Funko Pops and garbage. So it's the millennials who were part of the legalization of gay marriage. There was no new fight to be had after that. So then it got pushed into a weird form of consumerism that once pushed back on corporations, and I talked about this the other day, there's that article about how corporations realized after the 2008 financial crisis that they had to start using activism as the next form of capitalism. And it's become this perfect storm in which gender and sexuality-based ideologies latched onto it the same way race-based ideologies latched on to the Occupy movement, right? So we're in this perfect place where we could actually make the argument here that this is it's society and capitalism failing all at the same time. I know it's not actually the capitalism's fault. It's a cultural and a societal fail, but I'm just saying it's amplified by the fact that we are an extremely consumerist country and we're buying what they're selling, which is weird crap that we don't want and we understand is a problem, but the average person doesn't. So, thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.